And as the beginning of this game wasn't crazy enough, now it gets even crazier, because now we have this crazy clock at the bottom of the screen. Something that I can remember clearly when I first played this game, back when it first came out, and a lot of my friends agreed with me on this, caught everybody just off guard, and we were just like, what? A time limit? Yep. We have a time limit to deal with in this game, and that is one of the many prime features that makes this game unique. This game is it just reeks with uniqueness, and that's what appeals to so many people about it. Or that wasn't the best way to word that, but that's what makes this game so appealing to so many people, is how insanely unique it is, and I'll continue to try to point that stuff out as much as I can. I'm gonna try not to bite off more than I can chew with this beginning part of the game, because there's a lot to explain with this game. There is a lot to go over, and it's best just to take it slow and just not bite off more than we can chew. Because I have a bad habit of doing that. So let's just focus on the task at hand, shall we? And let's not worry about that clock right now, because really we have plenty of time to do our stuff. Let's just be calm, take a deep breath, and let's just go this way. This first sequence of events can be kind of difficult to figure out what to do your first time, and really, this whole game can be difficult to figure out your first time. And trust me, I'll get in. Oh, excuse me. And I'll get into why in just a bit. First, get this mysterious thing. We need to take her to the fairy fountain in North Clocktown, and I just had a soda, so I'm gonna be burping. I'm gonna try to hold it back. Like, I just ate, like, a bunch of hot dogs. It's like 10 at night, but I don't care. It's a terrible time to be eating, like, 4 hot dogs, which is very unhealthy, by the way. But let's not talk about my health issues, let's talk about Zelda, shall we? That's more fun to talk about. So, should I really explain the time mechanic right now? I guess I can explain the basics of it. For people who don't know, I mean, generally with these Zelda playthroughs, I don't like to pretend, I feel kind of silly commentating as if people aren't familiar with the games, because I'm sure chances are most people watching this have played this game or at least seen this game. And actually, before I start talking about the time mechanic, we have something going on here, something important. And everyone's favorite great fairy from Ocarina of Time, her motto appears in this game. Hooray. So this is kind of a neat thing that I like about this game. Let's just get through the text. I'm gonna warn you right away. This is something I kind of did in Wind Waker and Twilight Princess as well. If it's not very story-driven text, I'm probably just gonna skip through it really quickly. And I'll probably paraphrase it. I mean, basically what she said there is, you need a magic meter, I'll give you one. So there you go. So just, I'm gonna warn you about that ahead of time. I am going to be skipping through text. That's something I really love about this game too, is that you can skip through it really fast by just hitting the B button a bunch. In Ocarina of Time, it didn't work like that. It didn't skip quite as well in Ocarina of Time, the text. But anyway, like I was saying earlier, something I kind of like about this game is that you get the magic meter right away. This is one of the earlier acquisitions of the magic meter. And we have it, so we can use this ability I'm about to use over here. And we want... Wait, what do we want to shoot down? I forgot. There's 2 things we can shoot down, actually. We can shoot down this guy, Tingle. This is his first appearance in the Zelda series. So that's one bad thing this game has brought to the series, even though some people I'm sure like Tingle. He got his own game, so I guess some people must like him. Anyway, after we pop that, this guy will apparently think we're cool because of that. Because I guess he just couldn't pop it with the seeds he was going with. And he goes at that all day. He doesn't give up. This guy is a persistent little dude. Okay, so we're gonna do something that is kind of familiar from Wind Waker. We have these 5 kids, these bombers, and we are going to chase them down. And the reason why this is familiar from Wind Waker is it's kind of like what we did in Windfall Island with the killer bees when we had to do something with that teacher, Nurse Joy. Nurse Joy? Really? Did I just call her Nurse Joy? Her name's like Miss Marie or something like that. She kind of reminds me of Nurse Joy, though. I'm talking about the teacher in Wind Waker, in case you don't really know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I guess she can be the Nurse Joy of the Zelda series because she has that pink hair and she likes those joy pendants. So what we're doing here is we're chasing these kids down, and again, it's the same thing as you do in Wind Waker with the killer bees in Windfall. You just kind of chase them down. Did I really just get him? Usually you have to chase him. He didn't even... I've never had that happen where I just didn't have to chase him. Okay. Obviously all you really have to do is just run into him. And you're looking for 5. That's the number you're looking for. Is 5 kids. It's their first time in East Clocktown. I don't know when I'm going to explain the segments of Clocktown. Clocktown is your... I'll say right now is your main hub of the game. It's actually where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. This is one of the... Another thing that makes this game unique. One of just so many things that makes this game unique. It's ridiculous. This is one of the few Zelda games where the main hub, quote-unquote hub, I use that term very lightly, of the game is more of a town. If you've played Skyward Sword, there's kind of a similar type of thing with that as well, where you spend a lot of your time in a town. For most Zelda games, you know, most of your time is spent in the main, like, field, you know, like Hyrule Field. Whereas in this game, you don't really spend that much time in the overworld field place of the game, which by the way we can't go out to right now as a Deku Scrub. I'll try to show you why in a bit. Actually, I'll show you right now. Because they have guards at the exits here. This is your way out to the field, but you can't get out because it's dangerous to go alone, and we need something to take. So we won't have anything to take. We can take these kids though. All right, so one left. I don't remember where he. Oh no, he's on top of the. I have to go to the East Clocktown. So yeah, as you can probably tell by now, it's split off into 4 sections? Well, kind of 5 sections. There's the laundry pool that we were in briefly. Again, I don't know when I'm going to give you a tour. We're going to have a lot of downtime after we do all these little chores here. Did he just fell off the building! He's not supposed to do that. That's never... So many things are happening right now that's never happened in my many playthroughs in this game. This kid that I'm chasing down... Oh, now I'm going to be taken away. I'm going to be warped back to the... He's supposed to be on top of a building. And you're supposed to, like, use a Deku Flower to fly up there and get him. But he just fell down. I've never had that happen. Okay, so this part, I'm going to get my phone out. Because there's something that you need to have a good memory for, or have it's a good idea to get a pen and paper out for this. Because this is actually something that'd be kind of frustrating if you mess up. So, let's hope this... Oh, 1, 2... Oh, it's gonna be... Okay, that's the same code that I had last time I played the game. That isn't supposed to happen, okay. This code is, as you can probably guess, is different every time you play the game, so that way you don't, like, cheat and sequence break. Even though I guess he could technically sequence... I wonder if he could, by just guessing right. Because, okay, I'll show you what you do with the code now. If I go to the right place. It's been a while. It hasn't really been that long since the last time I played. I actually did do a practice run of the game, like, about... I don't know. Earlier in the year. It's the night of the first day, alright. Again, don't worry about the time system yet. We'll talk about that when we get our chores done. Right over here is where we need to be. Talk to this kid. This is why we got that code in the first place. Now, the thing you have to keep in mind, you need to write down that code at first, because there's no, like, at this point in the game, there's no other way of getting it. And, if you have a bad short-term memory, which I tend to have a bad short-term memory, you're gonna want to write it down, because if you forget, then there's no way getting it. He won't let you in. You're gonna have to probably restart your game. Which, guess what? I had to do because of other reasons. I'm gonna admit right now I did have to restart my game, but you know, something weird though is that it saved my progress from. It saved my progress from after I talked to the Happy Mask salesman and first went into Clock Town. It saved my progress, and that's not supposed to happen. Like, I had something mild go wrong. I'd stopped the recording, and I really couldn't, like, keep the game on. So I had to turn it off, and like, okay, I'll just start over. And apparently I didn't have to do the first part again. It somehow saved my game, which isn't supposed to happen. This game has a really weird save system, and I'll get into that later, because it's pretty complicated. That's one of the biggest flaws of this game. It's the save system, and in my opinion, one of the only flaws. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, we'll get into the save system later. Right now, we are entering this place that is called the Astral Observatory, which also has some pretty good music. This game overall has an outstanding soundtrack, though, you know, after listening to Ocarina of Time soundtrack, I actually think that one's better. I used to think this was a better soundtrack, but now I'm actually leaning towards Ocarina of Time. I don't know why. But, I guess this is the dungeon themes. I've really gotten into the dungeon themes of Ocarina of Time. Just, I don't know. I used to not appreciate dungeon themes, but after just, like, you know, like, sleep, like, trying to go to sleep, because, like, you know, sometimes I actually listen to various music when I'm sleeping. I'm sure a lot of people do when they try to sleep. And the Forest Temple theme just relaxes the hell out of me. And yeah, I really like the dungeon themes in Ocarina of Time. That's just like a random topic that came up. Completely off topic from the game, I'm sure. Alright, let's gaze into here. And check this out. There's our friend. What's he looking at? The creepiest part of the game, or at least one of the creepiest parts. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the moon. In case you didn't know. The moon has a face. And Skull Kid spanking himself. That is what that character's name is, because you know that's a Skull Kid. I kind of probably... I don't know if the game reveals that yet. But whatever. It's no big deal. I don't know, I'm not... if people have followed my channel long enough, you know that I'm not a very story-driven LP, or I don't really pay attention to story that much. Even in Zelda games where... Like, I play these games all the time, but I never really paid that much attention to the story. I get the general idea. But whatever. Alright, so let's get this mysterious thing that the moon cried out. Let's actually take a look at the moon, too. Hello, moon. How are you doing? You're gonna be saying that face a lot, trust me. Alright, so... I guess I can keep going. I don't need to cut footage just yet. It's the beginning of the LP. We are doing backtracking, which usually I would cut out, but in this case I won't, because I just think it's stupid to cut out right now. It's the second episode. I was gonna say first episode, but it's the second episode. And we can have our first combat. You gotta look out for this thing too, because you... Case in point. You gotta look out for these. Skulltulas, you kill them by hitting them in the back, and you can shoot your bubbles at them and get rid of them in one shot. I guess I can explain another mechanic with the Deku Scrub. Skipping on water. He can't swim, and you can skip on the water instead, up to 5 times, and if you go your full 5 times, you'll take like a big leap of faith, and if you don't make it and you land in the water, you kind of plummet in, and you end up... Ooh, excuse me, man. You end up from where you jumped from, so we'll probably have that happen at some point, I'm sure. I'll try to be ballsy and try to make something that I can't make. Okay, so I'm just about done here, I guess. Yeah, I see, I want to get this, errand done, like the stuff that you are required to do for the first cycle, done as quickly as possible. Because there's a lot of stuff that I can show off and explain, because usually, you know, like in a 100% run of the game, if I was getting all the heart pieces, which obviously 3-heart run, I'm not getting any of them, or I'm going to try not to get any of them. I might accidentally get... I might actually accidentally get one pretty soon. But, yeah, with me kind of eliminating the heart pieces, that eliminates a lot of the stuff that I would usually do in a playthrough of the game. Which, I don't know if I really would go into that, the stuff that I'm skipping. Basically, the stuff that I'm skipping, in case you missed the intro video or just didn't feel like watching it, is, I'm essentially just skipping things that, that lead to heart pieces. That's really it. Other than that, just about everything that's optional I will do. Just the only optional thing I'm not doing are heart pieces. Actually, no, that's not true. That's totally not true. There are quite a few optional things I'm not going to do, but I'll get into that later. Those are very situational things that come up later in the game that I'm just going to talk about later. So, when that guy won the Moon's Pearl, he'll give us the land title deed, and this will allow us to... This basically finishes our errand for the first part of the game. So, hooray for that. This gets this guy kicked out, essentially. Like, he actually gives us his home, or at least lets us use it. I guess that's what a deed does. I'm not very knowledgeable on those subjects. That dog is annoying me. Okay, so this will open up this Deku Flower. These yellow Deku Flowers are special because they shoot you up higher than the pink ones. So, it's really just for height. It doesn't increase... As far as I know, I don't think your radius of how far you can go away from the flower increases. That's something I actually might want to look up, because I never really thought about that. So if we want the heart piece, we can pick it up, but obviously, no thank you. So yeah, that's your only way to get up there, and that is the whole point of everything that we just did, is just to be able to get up there. Because at midnight on the final day, on the third day... Get away from me, dog! I'm trying to show people stuff! On midnight on the final day, the clock tower doors will open, and we can enter and basically progress the plot. So I guess now that we have all that done, I can finally start explaining things and kind of touring around, and then I'll start cutting out. Oh man, this episode... Crap. We can have a long... Shit. Yeah, let's just have a long episode, who cares? This is the beginning of the LP. This is the introductory video. It wasn't exactly part 1, that was just kind of story introduction. This is more mechanics introduction. I'll try to explain as much as I can.